It's finally starting to cool off a little bit. So introduce yourselves, band.
Hi, my name is Shauna, and I sing for the band War on Women. And fun fact, I actually went to high school in Nashville.
Really?
Even though the band's from Baltimore. Yeah, I went to Centennial High, class of 2000. So I'm very excited to be back here.
I'm not originally from here, so I don't know anything.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's for everybody else.
Yeah, it was probably a nice break for you guys because you were just in like Arizona and.
It was terrible. Oh my gosh. I don't want to even tell you about it because I don't want you to feel hot by extension. But yeah, 115 degrees. It was, I almost passed out a few times, but I just sat down and kept singing, and that's like the best you could do when it's that hot.
I've heard some bands say that in like Vegas, the soles of their boots will start to melt on the stage because it's so hot.
Yeah. It was a wild 48 hours for the tour, I think.
How long have you guys been touring as a band?
War on Women's been around for about 6 years now. We got a couple records out, and we've toured with bands like Refused and Propagandhi and Anti-Flag and Flag, and we're excited to be at Warped Tour and see what happens after this.
Have you ever had any really bad stage nightmares?
Mostly the bad stuff that can happen on stage for a band full of women that speak about feminism is just harassment. So, but honestly, we also experience that when we leave our house for the day and just walk around and exist as women. So it's actually not that abnormal. It's still just not cool.
It always reminds me of that Icon for Hire song where she talks, the Icon for Hire, they have a song where they just completely talk about all of the way that men treat female singers.
Yeah.
They act like it's an abnormality for women to play metal music.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So out of all the touring you've done, what is the weirdest thing you've ever seen on the road?
The other day we saw a car on fire, and it's not weird, it's more like just terrible, but we saw a car on fire. Once we drove past, you could tell that people had been calling the cops. They were handling it. It seemed like people were safe, but it was blazing on fire. But here's the weird thing. We were on our way to it was a day off, it's a cookout. It was just recently, just a week ago, a cookout with us and Guar and CKY, a couple other bands, just meeting up on an off day. And turns out one of the techs for Guar actually rescued someone from that burning car on the way. Like, he used to be an EMT, and he actually made sure like a woman got out safely. And we just must have been like minutes behind them because we didn't see any of that. Everyone was already kind of out of the car and safe, but it was such a weird thing. I'm so glad that he was there. So that was kind of a weird story.
Yeah. All right. Have you had anything else as far as Warped goes? Because they have Warped has a bit of a cloud over it with bad luck sometimes.
It does. It does. It can. I think that. What's really important for festivals like Warped Tour, but shows in general, is not the idea that you can magically keep out assholes, right? Like, assholes exist, they're going to do shitty things from time to time. What matters is how you handle it once it happens. And you have to be victim-centered. You have to support the usually women or queer folks affected. You have to check in with them, see what they need, and you have to talk to or get rid of the person that was being an asshole, and you have to make a public statement about someone being an asshole. So, like, if those kinds of things go on, then there should be no cloud hanging above Warped Tour.
That's very true. So I know you guys have such a strong message with everything you do, so it might be hard for you to answer this question, but out of all the songs you've written, which one has meant the most to you?
Whew, yeah, that is really tough. I think it depends on the day, what mood I'm in, what's really striking me as far as performing it live. I know a lot of people really resonate with our song Broken Record because it's literally like the harassment that someone might experience as a femme or a queer person. And I think people really start to understand what street harassment is like after they hear that song. It's not my favorite to perform, actually, because it kind of is hard on me, like, emotionally. But right now we're performing a song called Jordan from our last record that we don't normally play live. And It's just been nice to be able to play that. It's about someone I went to school with, someone that I was the first person I ever played music with, like in a band, and how we were just kids. We just wanted to be in a band, and she ended up passing away, and just kind of all the weird, confusing feelings around that. But that's been a really nice release to finally be able to play that live more.
All right, I think we'll leave it at that. It's a good place to end it. Is there anything else you'd like to leave with your fans?
I just want to say, we brought out this project called Safer Scenes. That was our idea. We got a few people to run it for us, but I would really love your support with this thing called Safer Scenes. We have a GoFundMe. We're raising money, and if you come out to one of the Warped Tour dates, please, please, please go to the booth, learn something about bystander intervention and what you can do to interrupt violence and harassment at shows. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
How can you miss someone you never met? I cringe thinking about the wasted breath, the wasted youth I wasted on you. How can you miss someone so quick to forget? Illogical and